Hey everybody, welcome to the Kr8tom Gals. Before we get started, I want to share something briefly with y'all. As you probably know by now, you've heard the news that last week we lost our main YouTube channel, which totally sucks, but it is what it is. Um, but the problem was, along with all of that, we lost several years of just so much educational and advocacy content. And the thing is, the work that we do here matters and is so worth protecting. So I've started a community education and advocacy fund to help restore all this lost content, and also as a way to support the ongoing education advocacy work we're doing across the podcast, the live stream, the website, and community spaces, all the social media and stuff we're doing. So if you believe in this work and you want to help protect it and keep it going, this is going to be a great way to do that. So you can go to kr8tomstoriespodcast.com/support. I'll bring it up on the screen in a moment. And but thank you so much for just being here. Just being here, supporting us is a lot, and we appreciate that so much. So now it's time to get started with the Kr8tom Gals. This is your weekly dose of real talk, real stories, and relentless advocacy. Every week we come here and we dive into the latest stories. There's always so many of them on the news about Kr8tom. And we just do a lot of real talk here and sharing our experience as Kr8tom consumers. We're going to call out the misinformation with facts, along with a lot of passion. This isn't just a show. This has become a real movement to protect the plant that we love. So for those new here, hi, I'm Madeline. Nice to meet you. I am the host of this live stream series as well as a Kr8tom Stories podcast. We've been doing all this for the last 2 years now. The podcast is on a brief break while I regroup and get all the previous podcast episodes back up. I want to do that before we do our next round of episodes. So we're going to be back in January with that. But the live stream's still here. We'll be here each week. And we also have our Kr8tom Real Talk community that, we do a lot of different things for education and advocacy because that's what we're all about. I've been a Kr8tom consumer for like 6.5 years, more than 6.5 years now. It'll be 7 pretty soon. I use it every day for my chronic pain, and it works far better than pharmaceuticals ever did for me personally. And that's why I'm a big advocate and come on here to talk all about it and to help people learn and just give people a voice so that they can talk about it as well. We need more voices. That's the bottom line. So just a reminder, this live stream is for educational purposes only. We're not giving out medical advice here. We're here to share our personal experience and advocate for responsible Kr8tom use. So let me bring up the gals. Hello, gals. How are y'all today?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. It's great that we've got our new home here, Kr8tom Real Talk on YouTube, and everybody's found us. So I appreciate everybody that is here live with us. I know this has been interesting losing the other channel that everybody was so used to, and I really appreciate that you all, kept an eye out for us and found us over here. So thank you all so much for our amazing supporters of this community. And for you gals for coming on screen with me. I mean, I just thought it'd be boring if I did this by myself. That's why, I wanted to have a group of us to do together.
It's definitely fun, and it gets us for me, to step out of my shell, you know what I mean, to do things I wouldn't normally do. And if it wasn't for Kr8tom, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, I know, because of Kr8tom, we're all able to do so much. Hey, Boneless Rocker, what a great name. Thank you for joining us. I'm glad you found us too. We appreciate it. And Becca, it's great having you here with us. You've been a great addition to the gals.
As always, I'm really happy to be here and get to see you all. We're very happy to have you guys. I hope everybody had a great holiday season. Yeah, just super happy to be here and can't wait to help advocate for our favorite tea leaf.
Yeah, we like to advocate. I mean, look, if there are no voices out there, they're not going to let this stay legal. Our voices really matter, and we need more of them. So I always hope that by
Absolutely.
doing this live stream, that encourages other people to get out and advocate, make videos, share your story. Boneless Rocker says it really seems like a coordinated attack on Kr8tom going on right now. Very true. So Y'all may remember back in July when the FDA and HHS came out and they're like, we're recommending that 7-OH be scheduled, but kratom powder is fine. Natural kratom is fine. We're not going after that right now, is what they said. So I'm thinking it's going to get easier for us to advocate, and we're going to have less restrictions, less problems. You got it coming from, HHS and FDA, the people at the top. And I thought for sure this would get better. And then what happened was, because I also teach social media, so I have a very strong pulse on what goes on. And TikTok updated their community guidelines back in August. YouTube apparently updated theirs. A lot of them are updating things. And kratom seems to now be they have this thing like unregulated goods. And it is very murky, and they don't really explain much. But they pretty much have it set so that when we talk about kratom, it falls into this category. And sometimes they censor, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they look for specific things, sometimes they don't. But the problem I see is that they are using AI to do that initial sweep. And the AI is terrible because it's not always doing things right. And so you got to always appeal. And, I know a lot of y'all that have dealt with censorship on the social media platforms, you get something, you appeal it, and then usually eventually somebody puts it back and you're fine. Not always, but sometimes. They started using AI more and more for this. And what I'm seeing now, and Facebook's doing it too, is they have just AI just blanketing and every piece of content for everybody. And the DMs. I mean, don't anybody thinks your messages are private in DMs on any of the platforms, you are wrong. Just be aware. So they've really stepped things up. And what's so funny? So here, I'm using my backup YouTube channel, which is our main channel now. I had a YouTube short I uploaded the other day. It wasn't public yet. It was just unlisted. And YouTube checks it as soon as you upload. They'll go through and whether you have a private, unlisted, or public. And I was just trying to get some up there, and then I would put them out later. And one of them, I had just put it on TikTok, and TikTok was fine with it. They came back and removed it and said that, the whole gray area thing. And I knew it had to have been the bot. And I'm thinking, there's nothing in this video that would warrant this. So I did the appeal. And like within an hour, they came back and put it back up because their AI did a bad job. And somebody had to come in and go look at the piece of content. So it's one of the challenges we have with advocating is that we deal with this all the time. At least I do. It's my constant battle. Is what are they going to take down today?
Right. Yeah. I'm always getting something flagged on Facebook, and I don't even post on there anymore anything about kratom.
Their AI is going back to everything.
Yeah.
Because AI, hey, Vina, AI has that capability. So I know, Becca just lost her Facebook, her longtime Facebook. Their AI is going back through everything you've ever posted, and they're doing this to everyone. And it's not just kratom. I mean, just everybody keep in mind, it's not just kratom. They're all so much stricter now with things you can talk about on social media. And y'all have to remember, these platforms are free. We're getting what we pay for. That's why I have school. Right. This is why I have our school community that I pay for out of my pocket so that we have a place with no censorship, that we can talk all we want about kratom. We've had it for over 2 years now. Come join us, kratomrealtalk.com or school.com/kratomrealtalk. It's all the same thing. Social media platforms, they can do what they want. They can change the rules at any time. They can do whatever they want. So, and then some people say, well, Madeline, why get another YouTube? And it's like, okay, this is going to be a quick lesson for everybody, being that I've been in teaching social media for 20 years. YouTube is the number 2 search engine. Nobody thinks about that because a lot of people don't realize that. Google owns YouTube. Google's number 1. Well, although ChatGPT and all the other AI are starting to bump that off the number 1 spot. YouTube is number 2. Think about it. It's the number 2 search engine in the world. So it's still a great place to put content out and for people to find you. If I just had the school community and I wasn't anywhere else, people wouldn't know about us. So, hey, Sarah, glad you could join us.
Hi, happy
Hi.
to be. Hi, girls.
Yeah, Stephanie Sue was going to join us for the first hour, but she hasn't made it in. I haven't heard anything. So you're our guest for the second hour. And it's like, you know what? Just come
Yeah.
on. Come on. So yeah, YouTube is a popular search engine. So it's still not something we should discount unless they just flat out won't let us talk about Kratom at all. You know, is figuring out what you can and can't do. And so I'm just being extra careful. Are y'all, I know, Sarah, y'all have been doing more videos recently. Are
Yeah.
y'all running into any issues on the platforms?
Not yet. Like you, we've been extra careful. We haven't been really saying Kratom and just referring to it and doing more educational videos. And the educational videos seem to be fine. It seems they have a big problem with brands promoting and selling products on there is when you kind of get into trouble, it seems like to me. So
Yeah. Yeah, Boneless Rocker, we're very familiar with the DEA try to do. Becca was there in DC when there was the big uprising with that 30-day notice to ban and schedule Kratom.
yep.
So yeah, we have our fair share of a constant battle
Yeah, for
with the
sure.
government.
It's just frustrating.
Yeah, you never know where it's going to come from.
Right, right. But we can't let it silence us. I mean, that's the thing.
No.
I know some people get so frustrated and then they don't want to do this anymore because it is frustrating. It's hard. And not to say you got to go back to the platform you lose. I mean, I know, Becca, you don't want to go back to Facebook. I'm so not a fan of Facebook. I haven't been a fan of theirs for a long time. I only go over there because so many people are there. Like you can't,
Right.
it's hard to discount it. Although if they terminated my personal profile that I've had for a gazillion years, I wouldn't want to go back. Yeah, I'd be like, F you, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
just so
that's
fed up.
pretty much how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I don't use it much at all. Like I wish I didn't have to use it, but there's a lot of people on there that I communicate with, and that's one of the ways we communicate. So kind of tied to that. But I've gotten banned. I've got put in jail. I am censored. I'm definitely shadow banned where people are like, are you posting anything? And I say, yeah. And they have to like physically type in my name. Like I don't show up on feeds at all and stuff like that.
Wow.
So
And that's
yeah.
not fair either.
No.
It's not. And I mean, this is why we need to get more people over to the school platform so that we can build up what used to be, because, you know, different Kratom groups were huge on YouTube groups. I know there's still some out there, but it's not what it was. When I first started Kratom in 2019, there were huge groups out there. And I know, Sarah, you've had your group on there, and Becca, I'm sure you were part of a lot of different Kratom groups.
Yeah, Facebook, I mean, that was really how the community came together originally, like from 2014 on until at least, you know, they started deleting groups left and right. But that's how we all came together. And actually, your website, Kr8tomRealTalk.com, is a lot like the old school Facebook groups. It reminds me of that a lot. I think a lot of people would enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's basically the same thing like the Facebook groups, but you don't have to worry about getting in trouble or spelling kratom or using code names and all that stuff. We're on our third backup group, so we've had already a bunch shut down before that, and we had to change the names and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all be sure to come join us there, school.com/Kratom Real Talk, or easiest to remember is KratomRealTalk.com. So it's just basically a forum, very much like a Facebook. We have so many conversations going on in here. Sarah's always posting. I mean, you're always putting great stuff. And, you know, people are always coming in asking questions. There was a question about flu and Kratom. And Sarah, you had a great comment, so I had to pin that. But I'll also, because I have a larger number of followers on TikTok, I went and made a TikTok. I put the link down there for her to go check back on, because I'm sure we'll get some comments on my TikTok as well. But it's also, there's a classroom. All of this is free. There's a classroom section on here, and I've got so much information for people new to Kr8tom, like so many resources, so much information. I've got my journey. I used to do this as an email because people always want to know how I started, how I found out. I have my whole story in here. And then for those that are new, I mean, I've got so many resources. There's so much. And Sarah is going to be contributing some helpful videos and information as well. So we have a lot. And then we got the calendar too, where we always have like all the different things going. We have so much going on in our community. So you'll never miss out on anything with Kr8tom education and advocacy. It's great for people new, but it's also great for those of us that have been using Kr8tom a long time, and just to be around other like-minded Kr8tom consumers.
Yeah, I love seeing the calendar getting filled up too, and all the different activities. And Thursday we have 3 different things: the support group, and then when the premieres start again, and then Christopher's tea talk. So I really enjoy that.
Lots going on for sure. So yeah, y'all be sure to come join us over there. And as I said at the start of this broadcast, I'm doing a bit of a fundraiser to help support all the efforts, because gosh, right now going back through this YouTube channel and trying to restore 87 episodes of the Kr8tom Stories podcast. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of time, but it's so important to preserve all this information. And I have it really easy for anybody that wants to do a one-time donation, or if you want to do something monthly or more regularly. Buy me a coffee is great. And also shout out to, I know Vina's here. Vina, thank you for supporting. I know you just did the Buy Me a Coffee, and you've done that several times. Appreciate it. Cassie and Tina Marie have all donated through Buy Me a Coffee recently, and really appreciate it. I mean, every little bit helps to help keep all this information available. It's a lot of time, a lot of energy, different tools to make it happen. And yeah, so everything is greatly appreciated. And y'all know what? This is our last broadcast for the year. Like next week, it'll be January.
Wow.
Wow.
Can y'all believe that? I can't believe it'll be January next week. So
Wow.
I can't believe it. It flew by. Yeah. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Yeah,
Happy New Year.
we go from Merry Christmas to Happy New Year. Yeah, next Saturday is going to be January 3rd. Holy cow.
Wow.
Time flies, but you know, we have such a great time here, and I love that we do this every Saturday for hours. Never a dull moment. So, and as usual, the comments are on fire. So, yeah, lots of conversations have definitely been censored. I lost a lot of great TikTok videos that have been removed that had so many comments. That was just, it wasn't just my video sharing my thoughts, but it was tons and tons of comments, because so many times people ask questions, and I use that. I'll show y'all, because I have a really cool method of how I do a lot of my TikToks. I like to do video replies. So people will ask questions in the comments, and then I turn around and make a video out of it so we can keep the discussions going. And people just love this. Let me pull this up real quick and show y'all. So on my TikTok here, so the one I was just mentioning in school about them asking about Kr8tom and the flu. While we're having that conversation in school right now, I went over to my TikTok earlier. Turn off the sound, and I'll do video. I'll post something like this. So sometimes it's a screenshot of their question in a comment, or because this came over from school, I just typed it in and said, you know, does anyone know if it's okay? I just basically copied what she was asking. And look, we already got 24. Y'all, I just posted this 2 hours ago. We already got 24 comments over here. Look at that. We have such an amazing community of people that are just fellow Kr8tom consumers that want to come in and be part of the conversation. And that's why I do this. So it's amazing to see that. And I have lots of them. Like actually this one, all right, this one was in the memories, like on this day from 2 years ago, 2023. And it was such a good one. So you can see there's the comment on there. So somebody had posted a comment in a video I did 2 years ago. I took that, and it's really, for people that want to know how to do it on your phone, it only works on mobile. when there's a comment in your video or any other, it could be somebody else's video, the comment, and you want to do this and make a video out of it, you tap on the comment and you'll see the little video button pop up, and you tap on it and it'll show that on the screen, and then you talk and say whatever you want to say, and you can go back and edit. So if you can control the duration of how long, I usually just have the little comment thing be up for like so many seconds, usually just while I'm talking. But it sparks conversation. And even though this was from 2 years ago and came up in my memories, it was just great keeping this discussion going because it's an important topic, talking about kratom and dehydration and why it's so important to stay hydrated. So yeah, I got lots of good videos over there on TikTok, but I go through my share of them, pulling them down. It's like, and they don't tell you why. And yeah, it's not going to stop me, but
Nope.
Yeah.
We're just going to get stronger and louder.
but
Yeah.
but you can lose your account, and that's happened to me before. My first
that is
TikTok,
a pain.
I lost my first TikTok. I wasn't even doing it for that long, but I lost it. Was 2 years ago because it was December of 2023. That's why I'm just now finally, when you're in there and you see like something from a year ago or however many years ago on this day, I've only been able to see it for the last year because I lost it 2 years ago. Now that we're in December, I'm starting to see some of the old 2023 videos I had that come up on this day. And it's really cool seeing like these old conversations and putting some of them back into the feed because there's just good information that helps people.
Yep.
And it's always relevant.
It is. And then reading the comments too and saying, oh, I do the same thing, and meeting people that have done something that you didn't know if you were doing it right, or somebody else, and oh, that's great. You find out a lot of information that way too. So
Absolutely. Well, we got videos to watch as we always do. So much to look at.
Awesome.
Never a lack of videos for us to watch. So I'm sure y'all have heard the news that in New York State, the governor just signed 2 bills into law that have to do with kratom. So I'm going to play. I've got 2 different news station reports, so I'm gonna play them one at a time. And it's interesting because there was this worry that they were going to outright ban all kratom, which has been happening more and more in different communities around the U.S. because of 7-OH. And it's interesting how some of them just gear it specifically for 7-OH. The whole Ohio thing is kind of murky because it says 7-OH, but it seems like extracts are not allowed, but powder is. But some people are not sure how to read the law. And then, or actually, that one's an emergency one, right? So it's not even a law yet. It's like an emergency ban, I think, right? In Ohio,
it's like 180 days or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think they put a second notice up that clarified that they weren't talking about plain leaf kratom. But it's still, when the media gets a hold of it, it gets all blurred.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and for those that sell kratom, you got to be really careful and figure out, like, can you or can't you, because you don't want to be breaking the law. And as soon as the whole Ohio thing happened last week, I saw that Super Speciosa had put up a tweet saying that they would only starting now, sell just the natural leaf powder to Ohio and will not be, they don't do 7-OH, but they said they would not be doing extracts for that state. So, reputable brands are going to be very careful. I can't even imagine. I mean, Sarah, we're not going to go too far into brands. I don't want to get in trouble. But I imagine this year has been really crazy, right? Because
it's been really crazy. Yep. A lot of different rules. So a lot of different packaging for a certain state. Same thing now with New York. We have to change our packaging and what it says for their law. And then like figuring out, is it capsules, are they okay too, or is it just the extract for Ohio, and you have to figure all that out as well. So it's a lot of, it makes it difficult for sure.
I appreciate you taking the time though to go through all that, not just saying, well, we're not going to send it to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of work. Thank you.
Yeah, because don't they, a lot of them also have like packaging requirements to go with it?
Yes, they do. So we have to change our packaging her that like for New York now completely. So we started working on that. So we
Wow.
have to do, yeah. So that has special packaging. So it makes
Wow.
it more complicated where you have to watch out too and make sure that no mistakes are made and the correct package is going with the correct words on it to New York and things like that. So it'll be a little getting used to, but we always get used to it and it's fine. It's just
Wow.
more extra steps, basically.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, hopefully they'll come up with one that every state, like KCPA, and
Yeah,
every
federal
state will have the
KCPA.
same
Yeah.
label.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah,
They're
we
going to
just
have
need
to at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, we need a federal KCPA, which is, why I went to DC 2 years ago was, they did that we were all there on Capitol Hill because they, put out a federal KCPA. Nothing happened with it, politics, government. And I know that AKA stays on top of that. And I know they're planning to do it again in the coming year. It's
I
like
can't wait.
it would be so much better if we just had a federal KCPA, Kratom Consumer Protection Act, but the thing is though, let's say they pass this law now, what happens to all the states that are doing their own thing? Are they allowed to keep doing their own thing? I mean, nobody's really saying for sure. Aren't states allowed to do whatever they want? Or if there's a federal law, does that, I don't really understand.
I've
Right.
always been confused.
Yeah. I think if it's federal, I would believe that it would be for all the states since federal is above the local government, maybe. I'm
But
not
then-
exactly sure on that
but-
either, but
But then again, when we go back to 2016 and they were trying to ban Kratom, right?
Yeah.
They were trying to do a federal ban. That's when some of those states decided, let's just go ahead and let's get ahead of this and ban the whole thing now. And that's
Mhm.
why we've had to deal with, Arkansas, Alabama, Wisconsin, Vermont. There's all those states where it all
Yeah.
started from that. So it's like,
Right.
but the government ended up not banning it. So, but they all decided, let's just go ahead and do it. You would think they would undo it.
Right.
And they didn't.
Right. Actually, Rhode Island actually is going to be, so there's one that actually undid it from that time
And
period.
that's never
so.
happened
Yeah.
before, right? Not like that.
No.
I mean, I know Tennessee was banned a long time ago and then it got lifted. But my understanding with Rhode Island, this was the first time of like one of those long-term 10-year bans that had been in effect,
Right.
got reversed. And that's going to be effective really soon, right? Like in the new
Yeah.
year?
Yeah. In January, I believe. Yep.
Yeah, we watched some of those hearings on the Kratom Gals. Venus, you remember when Claudia Morandi went to go speak, who's big pain advocate and doesn't consume Kratom, but she's a great Kratom supporter, and we all really appreciate her being
For the
allowed
love
to
of gravy.
I love
Always
gravy.
remember
That was a great one. Yeah, for the love of gravy. Great supporter. And Mike, went those times and we watched him, on this show. A lot of support over the years to get that ban lifted. And it's great that it finally has happened. Finally.
Mhm.
Yeah. So let's watch this news stories with New York so we can all fully understand, how this played out.
Governor Hochul signing 2 bills to regulate the sale of Kratom products in New York. We've been telling you about the dangers of Kratom for some time now. The CDC says 60 people died of a Kratom overdose in 2024. CBS 6's Quinn Alexander talked to one mother who's been on an emotional.
Do we know anything about that? I mean, I haven't heard about that many deaths in New York in 1 year. Is that news to y'all?
Yeah, that's news to me. I haven't heard of that
Yeah.
many. No.
It's interesting how they sometimes throw in these stats and it's like, okay, where are the receipts?
Right.
They don't
Right.
ever show them, ever.
No,
Nope.
they sure
Mm-mm.
don't. All right, let's keep going. I just had to stop Rick. I'm like, what? What is she talking about?
Mission to change the laws.
He was on to a great start for a young man. And then Kratom took his life. The side effects took his life.
It's been over a year since Carly Scribner lost her 27-year-old son, Nick, to kratom intoxication. He was looking for a natural pain reliever. However, the drug's opioid-like effects took control.
He was hooked, didn't even know why, couldn't even put his finger on it because he was taking something that was an herbal extract and a health supplement.
Scribner telling CBS 6 the death of her son pushed her to demand change.
I would go to bed every night and think, is there another mother that will wake up to her son's death? And I couldn't let that happen.
Monday, Governor Kathy Hochul signing 2 pieces of legislation to make it illegal to sell Kratom to anyone under the age of 21 and to clearly display the dangerous effects of the supplement.
And they deserve to have clear warnings about the psychiatric, cardiovascular, gastrointestinal, and respiratory risks associated with it.
Department of Health Commissioner James McDonald listing ways to prevent an overdose for those who will continue to use Kratom.
Buprenorphine, for example, is one that's very effective for this. Another thing that people should know is if you experience an overdose of Kratom, you know someone who's had an overdose of Kratom, you should try naloxone.
Champion of the bill, Assemblymember Phil Steck, says there's other harmful substances on the shelves.
This is unfortunately a situation we are in with a lot of substances.
He hopes Scribner's death inspires the passage of more legislation to prevent further harm from drugs of concern. Reporting at the Capitol, Quinn Alexander, CBS 6 News.
Okay. Wow.
It's not a drug.
You know, when I was on Capitol Hill 2 years ago with all the leading experts, you know, Dr. Hustis, who were all the others? There were so many of them there that got up and spoke. And they talked about how they don't see respiratory depression, that very few deaths related to Kratom, that the ones that are related are poly drug use. I mean, they have the numbers, they have the stats, they've been doing the research. So I mean, they were talking about give naloxone.
That makes no sense. Every time they say that.
That's already been disproven. Dr.
Yep.
McCurdy already has talked about that.
And I've noticed that more of these meetings, that more of these, just more of the law changes and meetings and stuff, that they're bringing up things like Suboxone and naloxone, and I have to wonder why.
Oh,
Because,
yeah.
like you said before, you know, before now, like there's been a lot of research done on the lack of respiratory effects and other things, and it's just really interesting that they're bringing it up right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's great that they in New York that they got, you know, they're going for regulation. That's good. It's better than outright banning.
Yeah,
So
Right.
we're all for regulation. I
Yep.
mean, it's sad what happened to this young man, an adult.
Yes, it is.
And every death is tragic. But also, I saw her say in an interview about how with this law, the packaging, you know, has to have warnings. Like she had made some comment about how it's on a
It
different.
has to say, I think it's addictive. I have it written down actually.
But she was saying that had that been on the label, he wouldn't have used it.
Yeah, and they're saying that on the label, it must say potentially addictive and may interact with medications, and that has to be legally on the label. So,
and that's fine. You know, I have
Yeah.
no issue with that. I just think that people that really think putting that on a label is going to prevent, like, oh, people are
Yeah.
still going to use stuff. People are still going to buy stuff and not even know what it is, because that's
or read it. Yeah.
that's how
Right.
people are. That's what people do. So, hey, Dr. Heidi, good to see you. No, this is our backup YouTube account that we're using moving forward. Now, I don't get the account back. They were very clear. I don't get it back. So we're at Kr8tom Real Talk on YouTube now, and let's just hope this one doesn't go away. I'm just being extra careful. I mean, we're able to say Kr8tom. It's just, you know, being careful, I guess, what road you go down when it comes to talking about it. They certainly don't want you talking about brands or selling or showing it and things like that.
Exactly. It seems like this conversation is fine, you know, and like educational information, things like that.
Yeah. I mean, there's still from time to time they don't like things. It's just seeing, I mean, certainly we can come on and talk about educational stuff. I don't know what, I mean, this is a big test to see, like, or being extra careful here. So we'll see what happens.
And I
But
look back at all the hashtag I love Kratom and we are Kratom that's in the search engine in Google that are still up. So that gives me hope that they'll leave us alone.
yeah, well, it's just, again, why we need our school platform, because we can talk about it all we want. We're not going to get into any trouble on there. So for those that are not on there, go to school.com, or kratomrealtalk.com will take you right to it. But it's also school.com/kratomrealtalk. But come join us over there. Oh, you know what else I forgot to mention? We're on Substack now. And Substack, y'all be sure to come join us over there, because Substack is really interesting. So again, going back to, I've been teaching social media for the last 20 years. I stay really up to date on all the different things in this area. And Substack is basically start off as a newsletter website. So something you could use like a MailChimp or any of the other email marketing tools. And it was a lot of like authors and journalists it was real popular, even though it was for everybody. And the best part is free. Can't beat free. Anyway, I've been watching it more closely in the last few years, and what I've noticed this year is really gone mainstream. I mean, everybody's using it now, and I'm not seeing censorship over there. There's not a whole lot of Kratom talk over there, but I haven't seen issues with people talking about Kratom. And I know Christopher from Christopher's Organic Botanicals has been using it for a long time for his newsletter. And so, or one of his newsletters. And so I went ahead and set one up, and I just this week moved my newsletter. It was on MailChimp, which I was paying money out of my pocket for. And I just moved it over to Substack, which is free and to me just as good. But here's why I like Substack, and why I think for our Kratom community, y'all might want to think about using it. You don't have to use it as a newsletter. It is part newsletter, part social media feed. And this whole social media aspect to it is newer. And I'm seeing people do really well with that, for just connecting with other like-minded people. And that's what a lot of this is that we do. We come on here, and who's here with us right now on YouTube? And I know we're also broadcasting to on X with Christopher Organic Botanicals X account. Thank you, Christopher, for doing that. So I know we got people, I see people over there watching us. So we're all here because we all have Kratom in common. We're Kratom consumers, positive experience with Kratom, and there's nothing wrong with having another place where we can talk about it and not get in trouble. So I think Substack's going to be a good place. So I just set it up so you can just be on there and not use it for anything other than get my newsletter or come in there and like a post. Is very much like Twitter. I know Venus started using it, and it's very similar. We can like something, you can comment on a post, and you can also, they call it restack. It's the retweet version. So same thing as a retweet on Twitter, but restack if you want to share it. And I think this is going to be a good place for us to have like another place where we can connect with each other, and it's all free. So
I agree. And it seems to be easy to use so far. I just downloaded the app, so I'm looking forward to learning it.
It's real easy. It's really, really easy. I'll probably put together some how-to stuff, but definitely recommend everybody to go check that out. All right, let's play the other news story out of New York pertaining to the signing of the bills.
Well, it's an herbal supplement that may not be as harmless as you think. Kratom is being linked to at least 100 deaths in New York. Our Grace Gomez joins us live from the newsroom with some new rules hitting New York. Grace.
Good evening. Where are they getting these numbers from?
I don't know. They're not really clarifying that either. So,
Heidi, have you heard about these numbers? In the comments, let us know. The previous news story we did before you got here, they said 40 deaths in New York in 2024, right? I think that's what they said. And this news report, they just said 100, but they didn't give a specific date range. I mean, wouldn't that kind of be big deal news if that was true? And I mean, we would be hearing about all that.
Right. And
exactly.
It's almost like they be just dropping right outside of the convenience stores and smoke shops.
It's like,
you
let's
know?
make up numbers.
Right, yeah.
Let's just make up number, or could be, well, ChatGPT told me that, so I'm going, you can't,
Yeah.
you still got to fact check.
Right.
stuff. I don't know where they're getting this information from, but okay, let's get back to, I don't understand these stats.
Kr8tom products are often sold in convenience stores and smoke shops, usually without age restrictions or warning labels. But these new laws are designed to change that.
Nick, in fact, took it thinking it was an herbal health supplement. He was hoping it would help him with his chronic insomnia.
Carrie Scribner lost her son, Nick, at just 24 years old to Kr8tom intoxication. His death, according to Governor Hochul, is one of at least 100 overdose deaths in New York linked to Kr8tom. The plant has been used for centuries in South Asia, where the leaves are typically chewed for mild stimulant and pain-relieving effects. Some people also use it to cope with opioid withdrawal. But experts say the Kr8tom sold in the U.S. is very different and far more dangerous.
They're using the direct chemical, not as part of the plant, and it has much more intense effects.
Dr. Steve Goldberg says that version can be up to 50 times stronger. On Monday, Governor Hochul signed 2 bills regulating Kr8tom sales across the state.
For establishing age restrictions, it makes it illegal to sell or provide Kr8tom to anyone under the age of 21.
Businesses that violate the law could face fines of up to $500 per offense, and warning labels will now be required, outlining known risks and stating that Kr8tom is not approved by the FDA.
2 million people have used it, including tens of thousands of New Yorkers and minors.
Doctors say because Kr8tom is popular among teens and young adults, it's critical for parents to start conversations early.
If they are using compounds like this, talk to them and help them understand how dangerous it is. And that would be
And the FDA has not approved Kr8tom for any medical use and warns it can pose serious health risks, especially when taken in concentrated forms. Live in the news.
Wow.
I wish they would say that not only is this protecting the people that the labels are for, it's helping the people that have chronic pain or trying to get into plant-based recovery find the unadulterated versions that will help them, or unadulterated Kr8tom, instead of just concentrating on the deaths all the time.
The very few deaths. Well, yeah, there needs to be more.
They said it was linked to overdose deaths.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the second, they didn't say it's the first
Yeah.
time. The second time, that's when I caught that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, I tell you, it's so interesting how media spins things. And we're all educated on Kr8tom. We understand this. We live it. We use it. I mean, most people are just. I mean, think about when you turn on the TV or now on our phones and we're watching our news, right? Our local news or whatever, and it's like you trust that they're giving you information that is real, is truthful, has been fact checked, and they're just like spouting out stuff that's like we know it's either not true or the way they're spinning it is not a truthful way of spinning it.
Right. And isn't that their job, is to provide information that is correct, sharing the news, not sharing misinformation?
Right, not spinning it to whatever, like spinning it towards big pharma's advantage and things
Or
like that.
spinning it for clicks and views, because
Right.
sadly so much is about viewership, both on TV and now online for any kind of news organization. It's all about everything is clicks and views. I just don't get it. I mean, people aren't understanding these are our lives that are being affected by these things they're doing. It's like when the governor said that tens of thousands of New Yorkers, like what? How many tens of thousands of the New York people, residents of New York State, have greatly benefited? Greatly benefited. I mean, this is why it's so important to advocate. Okay, so we've got Boneless Rocker here says they're in New York State. Anybody that's I mean, she already signed it, but still it's not, well, yeah, it is a law now. I mean, she actually signed it. I'm also thinking of Ohio where it's more of an emergency. If you are in the state where these things are happening, You need to go to your state capitol. You need to go call or go in person and see your reps. It makes a difference. They're just going along because they're not hearing all these positive stories. When I was in DC, Venus and I were just there back in April, earlier this year. We got to go around and meet with all different people on Capitol Hill and sharing our personal story. It is so impactful. It makes a difference. It's so important.
Yeah, they really listen to the consumers. To us, they listen to us.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a big deal. Like earlier,
It really is.
I live in Texas, and earlier this year, Texas was under attack. They wanted to ban it all. It started off because of 7-OH, but the Texas senator that brought it up at the state capitol on record said, powder's fine, but we're just going to ban it all. And we have a KCPA in Texas. If they were enforcing the KCPA, you wouldn't even have 7-OH on the shelves. So you wouldn't even have that issue. And so it was under attack. And so a lot of us, were calling the reps, doing as much as it was very short notice. It wasn't really enough time. Those that lived in Austin were able to go to the state capitol because they give you such short notice. I live pretty far from the capitol, but if I had enough time, I would definitely have been there in person. But, like the hemp stuff that's been going on around the country too. In Texas, hemp was under attack heavily, and they showed up in droves at the state capitol. So many people showed up, and it really helps to do these things. But at minimum, call and email. You don't have to go in person, but the more you can do, the difference it makes, because they need to hear more positive stories.
Yeah,
they really do, and it does make a huge difference. Huge. And if you're, nervous to do that, like there's people that can help you with how to do that, and either write a letter or email. Like I'm happy to help anyone. So definitely do it. It's really important.
Yeah, it really is. Boneless Rocker, that's awesome how much it's helped you. And contacting the reps and family members too. It never hurts to have family members involved with that too.
Yeah. And Trenton, my son, went with us last time. And even though he was too nervous to speak that time, he got the sign saying he was against the ban. So his presence just being there was really important too.
Yeah, y'all just went, right? Y'all just did New Jersey. That was like what,
about a week and a half ago. Yeah. And that was last minute notice, and it was really scary, but it was exciting to be in there and to have them listen to us, and it was just exciting.
That's great. That's so great that I know it was very little notice y'all got, and I love that you and Christopher and your son went to go speak out.
Yep, and I just appreciate, and Chris giving me the ride up there to be able to get there. So check around. Maybe you can find other people that are in your area that are also going to the capitals in your area, and you can get together and do it that way.
And you don't have to wait till it's under attack. So let me further explain with here in Texas. So what happened was it passed the Senate. It has to go to the House, though. This is just at the state level. And I learned all of this from being a Kr8tom advocate. I didn't really pay much attention to all this stuff before. And when you hear like, oh, it passed this, it has to do both sides. It always has to pass the Senate and the House side each, and then go to the governor for signing. So in Texas, it made it all the way through the Senate. They voted to just ban it all. So we're all freaking out in Texas. We're like, oh my God. Then the next step was it to go to a House committee. It always starts at a committee, then it has to go to the whole floor for either the Senate or House. So it got through the whole Senate, committee, meeting, done. So now it got parked at a House like a Health and Human Service Committee or something, some kind of health committee. I'm already like, figuring out, okay, well, who's on that committee? And it turns out that reps in my district, there was one that was on there and another one that used to be in my district. And I'm like, okay, I'm making plans. I'm going to be making some phone calls. And when everything was said, which I did, but when everything was said and done, it didn't go past that. The committee didn't even meet to talk about it. What they said died in committee. So it never went any further. But here's the thing, and this is where you got to learn your local laws. In Texas, the legislative body meets every 2 years. So we now have 2 years until they're going to start all over and try to do this again. It's not like that in every state. But in Texas, we got 2 years. So it's like, okay, we got 2 years to try to make plans to go to Austin, to the Capitol, and get meetings with these people, or just meet your local ones. Your local rep is going to always have an office in your area, in addition to one at the state capitol. Just like at the federal level, you're going to have your local rep that you're able to vote for in your city, but then they're also going to have an office in DC. So like each time I've been to DC, I just popped in my rep's DC office. I mean, if you don't have an appointment, you can still drop in. They're probably not going to be there, but you can talk to an aide, you can leave information. So I've done that. But make an appointment to go meet with them in your area where they also have an office. I mean, could you imagine sitting down and having a discussion or a Zoom call? I know Venus has done Zooms with her reps.
Yeah, I think I've done 2. I'm trying to remember. I think I've done 2 so far. Yeah, I have. I've done 2 so far. And they don't know what Kratom is a lot of the time. So it's good to get in, like Madeline said, even if it's not in danger at this time, get that information in there now. So when they hear about it, it's going to be your story, your positive story that pops up in their mind instead of they're not going to think that the negative is all there is. So,
Right.
And that's my plan for Texas. Since we know in 2 years they're going to reconvene, it's like, let's try to get those relationships established. Let's get our stories out there to as many. And, when you're in a big state, it's a lot of reps. But try to get the story out to as many people as possible that'll listen, because just like we said, Venus, when it comes back around, it's just like when we were on Capitol Hill this year. I mean, it was making a difference. And it's like, they're going to remember these conversations with you and me being chronic pain patients, talking about our personal experience, going from daily opiate use to a plant for pain relief.
I think that's such a great idea.
Yeah. There's so much we can do.
Mm-hmm.
We just need more help and direction and support from the advocacy groups, and just getting more of us banding together to do stuff like this.
More people doing these things. Definitely.
Yeah.
We need a lot more of it. Araya, I'm glad you found us. So what happened was YouTube deleted my YouTube channel last week. So this is my backup account. That's now my main account. So I'm glad you found us. Look, when all else fails and you're on YouTube, just type in Kr8tom Stories or Kr8tom Real Talk or Kr8tom Gals. Certainly you'll find us, because everything is always called that, whatever. It's just we're on a different channel. Also, join us over on our school community at Kr8tom Real Talk, because that's not ever going away. That can't be taken away. I control it. I pay for it. I control it. I'm the boss of it. I'm the boss of the school community, because that's how it works. We don't have to worry about any of that over there. Plus, if you sign up for my weekly newsletter, you'll always be informed of everything going on. But I'm glad you found us. And boy, Vina is like really digging into Sinclair, the broadcast distributor for a lot of those media stations, and interesting stuff. Thank you for sharing all that. Yeah, we're glad to be here. Glad you found us. And Kathleen just made it over. Hey, Kathleen, good to see you. We have such a great community here. I love all this.
I do too.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm hoping that all this discussion inspires more people to advocate. We need it.
Yeah, for sure.
So I got a video. So I've got some. So for like the latest news stories, those were my 2 main ones. I mean, the Ohio stuff we were already watching last week. I mean, that's already, that already happened. But the latest was the whole New York thing. And things are kind of dying down because it's holiday time anyway. But come January, come next month, a lot of these legislative bodies start back up, and we're going to see a lot more activity with hearings and bans and stuff. So pay attention to your city and your state. Just pay attention to what goes on in your area. and know when they meet and know what's going on. Because if they are going to meet and it's going to be Kratom, like we were just saying, it comes out of nowhere most times. There's usually very little warning. But if we
You'll
don't,
get a couple of days, and I'll say a Wednesday night, because there's one we were trying to go to, and it was impossible. It was in Massachusetts, and we're in New Hampshire, so it wasn't super far, but just the way it popped up like that, it just
but it's by
shows
design.
up.
They do that by design. They don't,
Yeah.
and it's not just Kratom. I mean, they do it with a lot of things because they just don't want public input. They have to provide public input, but they don't want it.
Right. And the more difficult, so people can't make it, the better for them. So, yep.
Yep. And even if they have a lot of input, they don't listen. Look at Connecticut, where 80–90% of them was against scheduling, and they're just plowing right through it.
Yep.
Yeah. And look at Louisiana. Louisiana already had their mind made up. It's terrible. I'm going to play an interesting video because now I have some that I haven't that I've been holding on to. Interesting video I came across from an anesthesiologist talking about Kratom. It's a 6-minute video, but it's really interesting. Is the title of it is Stronger Than Morphine? Anesthesiologist explains the truth about Kratom, nature's opioid. So it sounds interesting. So let's watch this and share our thoughts in the comments. Dramatic music.
Lately, there's been a lot of talk online about this thing called Kr8tom or Kr8tom.
Kratom.
It's touted as a so-called natural painkiller, or sometimes as an herbal supplement that some people claim could ultimately replace opioids.
They serve drinks made with kava and kratom.
Anywhere from 9 to 10, maybe sometimes 11 or 12.
Nebraska made it illegal for anyone under 21.
And in this video, I'll be looking into what Kr8tom is and what's actually going on pharmacologically when someone takes it. I want to find out if it actually works, if it's safe to use, and if it really deserves the hype or the concern that surrounds it. Why has this plant been both fascinating and worrying researchers around the world for the past couple of decades? Let's get into it.
There's growing concern about the safety of a popular supplement known as Kratom.
Some say it's as addictive as heroin. Others say it's the cure to their chronic pain.
There's the Kratom leaf, which has trace amounts of 7-OH.
I'm Dr. Daniel Medell, an anesthesiologist. Kr8tom is the common name for Mitragina speciosa, a tropical evergreen tree in the same family as coffee. It grows in Southeast Asia, mainly in countries like Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Papua New Guinea. For centuries, local communities there have used Kr8tom leaves for energy and pain relief. Farmers would chew the fresh leaves while working in the field to fight fatigue and increase endurance. Depending on how much they consumed, they'd feel either a mild stimulant effect or a calming analgesic effect. Today, Kr8tom is commonly sold as a dried powder or in capsules. Some people brew it as tea, and others mix the powder with juice or coffee to mask its very bitter taste. In the US and many other countries, it's marketed as a dietary supplement, even though it's not approved for any medical use. Now let's talk chemistry. The active compounds in Kr8tom are its alkaloids. Over 40 have been identified so far, but the two big ones are mitragynine and 7-hydroxymitragynine. Mitragynine makes up the majority of the alkaloid content in the leaves, somewhere around 60 to 70%, but 7-hydroxymitragynine, even though it's present in tiny amounts, is actually the one that packs the big punch. In terms of potency, animal studies have shown that 7-hydroxymitragynine can be up to 13 times more potent than morphine when it comes to pain relief. That's an enormous number, especially when you...
I'm going to stop real quick because haven't we now found out that study with the dogs, it was IV? They were doing it through IV?
Right. And it was the binding effect, not so much as how it affects your body, like the binding in your brain that is so much stronger too.
Versus the affinity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they all harp on this on every video. They always say all the same talking points.
Yeah, that it's stronger than morphine. And they've been using this since before I became a consumer and advocate back in 2013. Like that was already like some kind of an argument back then. But when you look into it, once again, just like you guys said, it has more to do with the binding affinity. Like my doctor tried to explain it to me about a different class of medication, that just because, these are all in the same class, like it doesn't it doesn't make one better or stronger than the other. Everybody is different. It affects everybody differently. It just means that the dose needs to be a different level. Like, it's not necessarily about strength, it's just about, the proper amount.
And that's so important.
It is. It is very important, and I feel like they use that to confuse a lot of people into thinking it's more dangerous than it is.
Well, at least he mentioned the study was on dogs, because most people don't ever say that part.
Yes, and that's another important thing.
So I give him kudos for at least saying that. But, we've now learned that with the dogs, it was IV, which is, I don't know. I want to see things that are a little bit more, true to life. That's not apples to apples at all. I know studies on dogs is very common, and that's a way to go before human studies. But is a person going to consume any of this through an IV?
I was going to ask.
Right.
I've never heard of anybody doing it. Does anybody here know anybody who's tried it like that?
I do not, and I haven't seen anything posted or anybody even saying it.
Well, Heidi says all studies in animals are IV. But how does that compare with humans?
That's a good question. Like, how do they use that information to translate into a human effect or whatever?
Right. I know that's just more for people in medicine to understand better than any of us. But it's just trying to understand how this all works and having all the facts.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And again, I give the doctor kudos for at least mentioning that was a dog study, because that rarely gets mentioned in the media. Rarely. All right, we'll keep going. I just wanted to. It's always such interesting talking points. And if y'all have anything you want me to stop the video to just speak up.
You consider that it's a naturally occurring compound in a leaf that's still legal to buy in many places. But before anyone starts thinking this is a natural morphine, let's look at how it works and how it differs from traditional opioids. Both mitragynine and 7-hydroxymitragynine act on the body's opioid receptors, mainly the mu, delta, and kappa receptors. These are the same receptor systems that drugs like morphine, oxycodone, and fentanyl target, but there's a key difference with kratom, because its alkaloids are what we call partial agonists at the mu opioid receptor. That means they activate the receptor, but not to the full extent that a traditional opioid does. So the effect is similar, but it's somewhat blunted. What these compounds actually do is really interesting. They preferentially activate one signaling pathway, the G protein pathway, while avoiding another pathway, the one that's linked to side effects like respiratory depression. This selective activation might explain why users often report pain relief and mild euphoria without the same level of respiratory depression that we fear with stronger opioids. But, and there's always a big but in your way, we don't have enough data yet to confirm that it's actually any safer. The animal data are promising, but we can't assume it translates perfectly to humans. Another interesting detail is that mitragynine, the main alkaloid, is actually converted into 7-hydroxymitragynine in the liver. So in a way, 7-hydroxymitragynine is the active metabolite, similar to how codeine is metabolized into morphine. This means that differences in liver enzyme activity between individuals, or taking drugs or medicines that interact with these enzymes, can drastically change how strong or how long-lasting kratom's effects will be. That's one of the main reasons why kratom can feel so unpredictable. Two people can take the same dose and have completely different experiences depending on their metabolism, liver function, and what medications they might be taking. One of the most confusing things about kratom is that its effects change depending on the dose. At lower doses, it tends to act more like a stimulant. Users often describe feeling more alert, energetic, and talkative, kind of like drinking a cup or two of strong coffee. At moderate doses, the effects shift toward pain relief and mild sedation. At that point, people may feel calmer, more relaxed, and a little bit less anxious. Once you get into high doses, though, kratom starts to feel much more sedating, and side effects become more noticeable. The main ones are things like nausea, dizziness, or confusion. So it's this really dose-dependent duality that makes kratom so interesting pharmacologically. Now, we have to talk about the other side of the story here. Kratom's not some kind of new risk-free miracle drug. While it's often marketed as a safe, natural alternative to opioids, the FDA and the DEA have both expressed serious concerns about its safety profile. There have been reports of dependence, withdrawal symptoms similar to opioids, and in some cases, seizures and liver toxicity. Some users who stop after chronic use experience irritability, muscle aches, insomnia, and some pretty severe cravings. Its legal status varies widely around the world. In the United States, Kratom isn't a controlled substance at the federal level, but several states and cities have banned it. Thailand actually banned Kratom for decades, but re-legalized it in 2021 for medicinal and personal use. In contrast, it remains illegal in countries like Malaysia and Australia. So you can see why there's this huge debate. Some view it as a valuable harm reduction tool for people trying to avoid opioids, while others see it as an unregulated street drug with serious abuse potential. So where does that leave us? Well, kratom is a plant with complex pharmacology. Its main alkaloid, mitragynine, and its more potent cousin, 7-hydroxymitragynine, do have genuine analgesic and opioid-like effects. In theory, they might offer pain relief and less respiratory depression, but the data are far from conclusive. At this stage, we can't really call it safe or effective for medicinal use, and the lack of standardization in commercial kratom products adds another layer of risk. Potency varies drastically from one batch to another, and some products have been found adulterated with other substances. So if someone tells you that kratom is a harmless herbal supplement, that's a gross oversimplification. It's a pharmacologically active plant that needs much more research before we can say whether or not it's truly harmless or what its side effects might be. So is kratom nature's opioid? Well, in a way, but that doesn't mean it's a safe or predictable one. What kratom really highlights is how thin the line can be between medicine and poison, especially when we're talking about substances that interact with the body's opioid system. If you or someone you know has had any experience with kratom, good or bad, let me know in the comments. Thanks for sticking with me all the way to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.
That was an interesting video. He had lots to say.
Yeah, it was. It's nice to hear an anesthesiologist's view of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I felt like it, he wasn't like taking sides. It was just trying to give us an overview.
Yeah, and just a lot of information about it and how it works in the body, which is good. That's good information for sure. So
definitely.
I agree. I agree. I didn't like his last little comment there, like how thin the line is between medicine and poison or whatever. But yeah, I thought he presented his case pretty well, I guess.
yeah, I think you did a pretty good job, especially with saying how it works through the body and what receptors and how it's different than a traditional opioid. And, because a lot of people don't know the difference between the two. So that's also good for newer people because it is super confusing when you're brand new to it. I was overwhelmed when I started learning about it in like 2014. So it took me a little while too. So it's good to let people know it can be confusing and, to definitely learn about it. So
I was also very surprised that he mentioned the G protein pathway because that's something
yeah,
they don't talk about much anymore, and that's really cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that was this interesting video. It came out about a month ago, I think it was. And it's just, I have some of these videos that I've been like, oh, when we have time, but we don't always have time because there's just so many things to watch. And I saw in the comments, Liberated Outcast is here. She has a great video that I came across this week. And I play it. If we have time, I was going to try to play it today. I don't know. I have a long one I wanted to get to that. So I don't know if we're going to have time today. But yeah, it was just interesting having a medical professional like share information about kratom. So interesting video. But I went and looked at that guy's account. I mean, he's an anesthesiologist who's definitely using YouTube to share information, but also is very YouTuber like, clicks and views and like, I mean, a lot of people do this. There are some doctors that have millions of followers and share lots of great stuff, but just know they're making a ton of money by doing that. They get paid very well for every click and view and subscriber. Like it makes a difference. So sometimes I have to kind of look at this live, but I thought that guy was good. I thought that was some good info and not taking sides.
Yeah.
So I have a great public service announcement video I want to play from our community friend. I don't think she's been here much in our live chat, but she goes by Stoner Jen on TikTok. Our friend Jennifer, I had her on the podcast long time ago. She's on Kratom Stories podcast, but great gal. Her story, oh my gosh, when I interviewed her, so compelling. Her and her husband were big time drug users, and kids were taken away. And oh my God, the story she told, her husband died of an overdose. They were staying in a hotel doing drugs. He died, he OD'd. And she just knew she had to get her life together. And she discovered Kratom, and she's such a great advocate. She got her kids back. She's working. She's doing so great now, years later. But she makes videos on TikTok from time to time. And this one I saw, oh my gosh, I'm so excited she made a video. So let me play this for y'all. It's really good.
If you're Cali sober or on Kratom or on Matt, don't let anyone tell you that you are not sober and clean, especially if you got off of the Fetty and you are clean from that deadly substance, and you're just taking either Kratom on Matt or just Cali sober. Don't let no one ever tell you you are not sober. You are doing great. You are alive. You are thriving without doing illicit drugs. I see all these people on here, leaving comments in people's section, saying, "Oh, you're on Matt. You're not sober. That's not sober." Nah, you are good. I am proud of you. I am 3 years Fetty free, haven't touched it in 3 years. I went to rehab and got clean after my husband died from that bullshit. And, I got clean. And then after about a year after finishing, I got on Kratom, which has literally saved my life. Who's to say I wasn't going to stay sober? We don't know. But all I know is that I've made it 3 years, taking Kratom, and I'm a different person. I have my family back. I have my kids back in my life. I have a full-time job that I've had for over 3 years now. I never could keep a job down when I was using. I could never keep a job down. And I had so many amazing jobs that, I just threw away for drugs and stuff. I wish that my husband would have had the chance to discover Kratom before he died, but we were just so busy ripping and running. We wouldn't give it a chance. I had heard about it, but we didn't give it a chance. And it wasn't until I got really, really sober, that was enough for me. If you're ripping and running, you're just always going to be looking for the next high. But I'm proud of you. Keep doing you. And I love you. I love my recovery community. There's so much stigma in our community, so much stigma and hate and backlash and stuff that we get, especially even in the Kratom community. And I see it in the Matt community. I see all my Matt people on here, celebrating their recovery and stuff. And then I see a bunch of, idiots just commenting, and they're just trying to let them down in the comments, like, "Oh, you're not sober." Yes, you are. You are not touching that deadly substance anymore. You are sober. Okay. And just stay away from the illicit stuff, stay on the legal side of things, and just thrive and keep going. Okay. I love you.
That was so good. What a great
Really
message.
good.
I love that. And she's right. She's right. If you're not doing the lesser things, you're in recovery. And it's all what you think too. Don't let other people think that you're not just because they think you're not, or because they think that if they were in those shoes that they wouldn't be. Because I would say I can guarantee you, but maybe they wouldn't. I was going to say I can guarantee you they would think the same thing. But yeah, just do you. And I forgot where I was going, but yeah, that was a really good video.
Yeah, I love when she makes videos, because that's going to help a lot of people hear a message like that.
Yeah, they need to hear that too, because if you put something out there, there's a lot of people that you attack you. If you're pro Kratom, I get attacked all the time.
We all
too.
get it. I know. It's like,
Yeah.
man, when I first started advocating, I'm like, what's with all these people? They're so mean. And you learn very
Yeah.
quickly not to engage, not worth
Yeah,
it.
just block,
Not
block, and yeah.
yeah, I got so good at
Mhm.
blocking because yeah, you cannot change your mind no matter how hard. Whenever somebody's new to advocating, they try so hard. I'm like,
Yeah, I used to argue, and no, it doesn't get you anywhere. So
no, it
block.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it just becomes a waste of time. Look,
Mhm.
people have the right to their own opinions and their own thought. Like I don't look if somebody wants to believe this is really harmful, so be it. But don't come in. What I don't like is you come over to my TikTok or my YouTube or whatever. Like this is my place. I'm not coming over to your place to say crap, but you're coming to my place to say crap. So you're going to be. I don't even respond to that. I block. You know,
Yeah.
and luckily with YouTube, you can remove their comment and hide them from, so they cannot. You can't keep people from seeing your videos on YouTube, and you can't see people from seeing your posts on X. They don't have a blocking feature, but you can have it so they can't post, which is fine. You know, it's like, sorry, you can't post on here because, you know, yeah, we don't have to agree, but you're not going to come over here and spout a bunch of BS in my space.
Right.
And we do it on TikTok a lot. Plus, you know, the thing that really gets me, it's like, it's always somebody hiding behind a profile. It's like, whoever you are, show your face, put your real picture on there, put real videos of you. It's like, it's so stupid how people are. It's like, really, you got nothing better to do than to live this pitiful life and go harass people with your profile that's anonymous.
Right. People who are happy and that it's a natural plant helping them and helping them feel better, and to pick on them, you know, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's great, Araya. Friends went from addicts to successful business owners thanks to Kr8tom. So, I saw comments. So I'm gonna go and play her video next. She has a really cool video I came across. I think it was yesterday. So this really goes in line with what we just watched with Jennifer's video to now watch this is from Cameron Jewel. So I'm so glad you're here live with us. So I commented on her video, so we did a little bit of back and forth, and I thought, I should play this video because it's really good. Yeah, you definitely have provocateurs out there for sure, and they really think they're going to stop us from advocating. It's like the people that like to harass me, this is what I have to say to them. There's going to come a day where you're going to be suffering in all kinds of bad chronic pain because it happens to everybody. And when that day comes and you're suffering and you don't want to have to take opiates anymore and you wish there was something you could take that is not harmful, that gives you a much better quality of life, it's like maybe then you'll open your eyes. But people are just so small-minded. It's a real shame. A real shame. All right, so I'm going to play this video. This is what grabbed my attention. So I always keep an eye out for videos that with the keyword Kr8tom on YouTube. And the title of this video says, "Stop blaming Kr8tom." I'm like, oh, thank God, a positive. This is going to be a positive. There's so many negative things on YouTube. So I was so excited, like, oh, this is going to be good. So it's really good. This gal shares her story and how Kr8tom has helped her. And she's here live in the comments. I'm so glad she's here with us. So I'm going to play this for y'all. It's 11 minutes long. If anybody, I don't plan to stop it. I'm just going to run it through. But if there's anything y'all want to talk about while we're just interrupt and I'll stop it. But it's really good. So let me get this up for you. We need more people doing this, by the way.
What's going on, everyone? Thanks for tuning in. I am the Liberated Outcast, and this video is very important to me. This video is going to be about Kr8tom, and I want to make something very clear right from the start, that when I speak on Kr8tom, I am speaking about the pure leaf, the herb, the plant, the medicine. All right, I am not speaking about these research chemicals like 7-OH, MIT, Feel Free, or any other type of drug that is being manufactured from this plant. Those substances are pure poison, and they are ruining the reputation of a very special plant, a plant that has the potential to help many people, people who want help. Not people looking for a crutch, but people who actually want help. And that's the point I want to touch on in this video. To touch on that point, I'm going to share a little bit of my story with you. I have a history of severe abuse, chaos, and trauma. I was brutally tortured by multiple stepfathers throughout my childhood. I started using drugs at 8 years old, and I did not stop using drugs until I went to prison at the age of 20. And none of this is any fault of my own. I was a child, and I was trapped in a den of demons. I was abused sexually, physically, and mentally for the first 2 decades of my life. And when I finally broke free from this reality, I was lost and I was in a lot of pain. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. And thankfully, I have always had a connection with something higher than myself that I choose to call God. And because of the love of God, I was removed from those environments. After prison, I was given the opportunity to start over by myself here in Florida. I was still suffering. I was suffering. I had had Crohn's for more than 15 years, endometriosis, neck and back pain from multiple car accidents, fights, and tons of physical abuse. My mind felt like a war zone most days, but I was fighting for my life. I was fighting so hard. I knew that there was more to this life than what I had been given, and that I had the power to write my own story. I knew that I had the power to create my own life and to transmute all of that pain into power. But fuck, man, it was and still can be so hard. It was so hard. At about 23 years old, a friend of mine introduced me to Kr8tom, the pure leaf powder. At this time, I had already been in college for a year or two. I was earning my bachelor's of science in alternative medicine. I had already started to change the way that I eat. No fast food, no soda. I didn't eat most of the poison that they sell us as food. I was eating fruit and quality eggs in the morning and vegetables and quality animal protein for the rest of the day. I was exercising regularly, and I was just so thirsty for knowledge, and I spent most of my time reading and learning. The thing is I wanted to be happy, and I was fighting so hard to be happy, even though it was very difficult. I had been to multiple types of counselors, psychologists, psychiatrists, and I had tried some of their drugs that they prescribed, and each one would make my symptoms worse and make my body feel like shit. But when I tried Kr8tom, something lifted, something shifted for me. It was like receiving the love and support that I so desperately needed from friends and family that I did not have. I was alone for a long time as a child and then as an early adult. And we're not built. We're not built for this weird ass society that we live in. I've worked with this plant ever since, and I hold no shame, no remorse, nothing other than admiration and respect for this God-given plant and the support that it has offered me. Over the last few years, I've noticed how much of a bad rap this plant is getting. I think mostly because of the smoke shop culture. And now all of these drugs being produced from the adulteration of this plant is making it even worse. People are calling 7-OH Kr8tom, and it's not. I experimented with 7-OH for some time, and maybe I'll make a video about that. Maybe I won't. But what I will say is I am glad that they are banning this substance in most states, and I hope that they ban it in all states because it is pure poison. Most of the people claiming to use it for their severe pain, again, these people, they don't eat right. They don't move their body. They don't take care of themselves. And if they started to do even just a little bit, they wouldn't need something like this. It really angers me to watch this plant be blamed for everything that people refuse to take accountability for. This plant is being abused and misused. But that's what we do, right? We humans, we are notorious for turning the sacred into sinister. We corrupt what is clean, and then we externalize the blame instead of looking in the mirror. As I've been exploring the world of Kr8tom, reading stories and theories from people on the internet, especially Reddit and YouTube, I recognize how this plant is being used as an scapegoat for people to avoid accountability. The stories from people who experience terrible withdrawals or blame this plant for ruining their lives, these people are abusing this plant. I personally have never taken more than 5 grams on a day on my worst days, and my usual is less than 3 grams. Yet there are people out here consuming 1 to 5 ounces of kratom a day. That's insane. And anybody with eyes to see can recognize that taking absurd amounts of anything indicates problems much deeper than what can be seen on the surface. People are eating trash, listening to trash. They don't move their bodies. They don't have any gratitude for life. They don't pray. They don't breathe. They don't get their hands and feet in the dirt. And instead of putting in the necessary effort to liberate themselves from the pain and the despair of this world, they abuse substances and then play victim. There's also a massive lack of education around this plant. Herbs, plants, they have properties. They have energetics. And kratom is a very hot and drying plant. And those properties contribute to constipation, anxiety, anger, among all the other negative side effects that people are reporting. When taken in massive doses and not taken with plants and foods that counter the hot and drying effects, those uncomfortable side effects and symptoms start to occur. You're not supposed to take this plant in massive doses. You are abusing the plant and you are abusing your body when you do this. I personally have never once experienced constipation, anxiety, or uncontrolled fits of anger. And again, this is because I have never abused the plant and I eat real food. I work with many herbs, most of which are cooling and demulsifying, like marshmallow root, linden, chamomile. I take care of my body. I was never looking for an escape. I had already escaped from hell, and I was determined to build heaven for myself brick by brick. I work very hard, consistent effort, devoted discipline, and a desire to learn and grow. But I've had every reason given to me to play victim. I have endured and overcome some of the sickest things that we can imagine. I was handed one of the most brutal beginnings in this first world, but I can't do it. I just can't go out like that. I can't hand my power over to a world that feeds off of pain and suffering. I can't pretend like I am not powerful enough to create the life that I love. And all of these people out here blaming kratom for ruining their lives, that's what you're doing. You are handing your power away. You are refusing to take accountability for the shitty food that you eat, for the way that you abuse your body and you don't take care of it. All right? I'm not built to settle for that kind of weakness, and neither are you. This plant can be used with reverence as a tool, as support, as medicine, or it can be abused and turned into another chain that keeps you shackled. That's your choice. You can blame this plant. You can blame other plants. You can blame drugs. You can blame your parents. You can blame the world. The list of people, places, and things to place blame on goes on and on and on. But understand, I hope you understand. Do what you want, but I hope and pray that you understand that it's a lie. All right. And placing blame on things outside of yourself is a lie that keeps you distracted from the truth. And the truth is that your life is a result of the choices that you make, choices that you have made, the choices that you are making, and the choices that you will make. When it comes to kratom, I have chosen to respect and honor this plant that has literally saved my life. I have chosen to stand up and advocate for this plant that is being abused, exploited, and now villainized. No matter what, I will be misunderstood. I will be accused. I will be ridiculed. I will be rejected. But that's nothing new. I'm an outcast. I was built for that. So that's all I've got for you here. Kratom saved my life. And now it is being turned into something that it's not, and maybe even put at risk of being taken away from people who truly want the help and the support, people who are fighting for their lives out here. All right. So if you or anyone else you know would like some support, and liberating yourself from these cycles that keep you sick, that keep you stuck. If you're ready to take responsibility for your life and create a life that you desire, if you are ready to step into sustained vitality, reach out. I know a way.
That was so good, y'all.
It was really good. Yeah.
Wow. That was a great testimonial to the power of Kratom.
And so true that more people need to speak out like that. And it's so important. And this plant helps people a lot. And you have to also protect it too by speaking of how it helps you. That's huge.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So y'all be sure to follow her on YouTube. Cameron Jewel is at Liberated Outcast with a K. Liberated Out, OUTKAST is the username. But yeah, great video. I saw that. I was like, stop blaming Kratom. I'm like, oh, yay. So yeah, great video. And so just a reminder for anybody new here, what I always do later this afternoon, I'll go back to the YouTube version of this, and in the description I'll put links to all the videos we watched, because I'm sure somebody here is like, I need to share that video out. So, but yeah, everybody's loving this. Great comments, really great message. Could y'all imagine if more Kratom consumers would make a video like that, just sharing their personal experience and get more of our stories out there?
I ask people all the time, and I understand that people are nervous to make a video and things like that. So I've been trying to also come up with ways to help people feel more comfortable so they can speak, make a video, or even if they don't want to, they could go on your podcast and not be seen, which is fine too, but it's so important.
Yeah, we definitely need more stories. So anybody that wants to come on my Kratom Stories podcast, I'm always looking for people. Just go over to my website, and the thing about YouTube, there's no DMs here. So the easiest thing to do, I'll show y'all real quick, is just come over to my website, KratomStoriesPodcast.com. Whoops. Go to the contact. It's over here. Click on contact, and this goes directly to me. Just fill out the form, and I even have a little category. You can say, share your Kratom story, and just give me just some info about you, and I'll invite you to come on the podcast. Always looking for people. I'm taking a little break right now because losing the I wasn't going to take a holiday break. I got you all pumped up a few weeks ago, right before I lost the YouTube channel, about interviewing that actor Nico Tortorella with his Kratom beer called Dur. And I was so excited about this interview. We had so much fun doing it. He's a great guy. And I drank one of those. And it's very possible, the next Saturday when we did this 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks today, I remember I drank one of those Kratom beers on here. I wonder if they don't tell you at YouTube what exactly you did. It's just the typical regulated goods. You didn't follow our community guidelines due to regulated good drugs. And I'm like, so I don't know. But
it's a possibility. So
I did it in the interview too. So I told his people, I said, I think I'll have to cut out because at the very beginning, I thought, what a fun way to start the interview with him. It's like, but here's the thing though. There'll be two versions. There'll be a YouTube version of that interview and then a non-YouTube version where you'll have the whole beginning. Because I looked at it and I'm like, okay, I'd have to cut out like the first 9 or 10 minutes of it, because we just start off with me opening it and we're talking about it, and it was really fun. I just thought it'd be a fun way to start that episode. It's like, well, I know I shouldn't put that on YouTube. The rest of it is just his story, so that should be fine. But that's the thing that sucks when you either they take down one of your videos. I go through this with TikTok too. They don't tell you exactly why. So you have to kind of go back and go, okay, what did I do in that video? And what's always funny, every time it's happened on YouTube, it hasn't been that many times. I get in trouble with TikTok all the time. YouTube, it's only been a few times with shorts. See, this wasn't a short. It had to do with 2 weeks ago when we did it was something with the Kratom gals. I've never gotten in trouble with them with the Kratom gals. So I'm thinking maybe because I was drinking that Kratom beer. That's legal.
It's
that
possible.
You can buy it in a store.
Right. So why can't you do that?
Right. So there'll be a version of that episode where for those
Yeah.
that can see the uncensored version. I will censor myself. But so on TikTok, when they will sit here and remove one of my videos, they don't say why, and it'll be something I put on YouTube as a YouTube short, and it's fine. So whenever it's happened on TikTok, YouTube has never had a problem with it. So that says a lot. And then the few times it's happened on YouTube, TikTok didn't have a problem with it. So it's really hard to pinpoint, like, what exactly did I do that got me in
Right.
trouble?
Yeah, I always have that question as well when they've banned 2 of my business accounts for my business on Facebook, saying it wasn't like legitimate, even though I pay taxes and I do own a business legally, and it's so frustrating. Yeah.
Very, very frustrating. Oh man. Crazy. Let's see. I wonder what happened to Stephanie today. I never did hear back from her because she was going to join us for the first hour today, but hope everything's okay with her.
Yeah.
She usually only comes here about once a month or so. So yeah, the media police, very petty. You never know what you did wrong, and I'm still going to advocate, but it is deflating. It is very deflating to lose your account. That's for sure. I worked so hard on that YouTube channel. Oh my gosh.
Yep. It's a lot of work.
The part that just gets me the most, I mentioned here last week, I had just hit this milestone of 175,000 views. I mean, that was amazing to me. I'm like, holy cow. I finally put a lot more effort into this. Really, all I was doing, again, as somebody that teaches social media, I'm just doing one of the things I always preach, which is repurpose your content. So I was already making these videos on TikTok and people love them over there. And it's like, well, I already have the video. It's sitting on my phone. Why don't I just put them up as YouTube shorts? Because I was already doing the podcast and the live stream, which is long form content. I'm like, I should try doing those. But people are always saying, YouTube shorts, not worth doing. A lot of industry people, it's not worth doing. And I'm like, I have all this content. It wouldn't be that hard for me to go put them on YouTube. It made a huge difference. It got so many more people noticing the account. And my hope was they would see the YouTube short to grab attention, and then they would see, oh, we have a podcast and a live stream. So, yeah.
Well, that worked out. That's awesome.
It did, but then I lose it, and it's like, sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's okay.
You can rebuild, and it will be better. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. You'll be good. Sure.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I appreciate everybody. We have such a great community here. Thank you, Kathleen. You're so sweet. Appreciate all the help and support. And I am doing a bit of a fundraiser to help with the costs of all this. If anybody wants to help out, just go to Kr8tomStoriespodcast.com/support. I've got Buy Me a Coffee, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. And then I just set up over on our school community at Kr8tom Real Talk. I have the subscription tier set up as well. Thank you, Becca, for doing that. Oh my gosh, shout out to you. You were like the first one. I'm like, holy cow, somebody did it. So appreciate all the help and support.
Come join me.
Yes, come join Becca. because that's like really cool doing that over on our school community. Let me pull that up real quick so I can show everybody. Because it's a cool new feature they just added. And I thought it would be good to set it up for this because it's very much like Patreon. And I thought about setting up Patreon. But what a lot of people don't know, okay, when you do Patreon, they keep a big chunk of the money. So when people are donating, you're not realizing. So, and not to make anybody not do somebody's Patreon. I think Patreon's great. Actually, I'm a big fan of. I used to be in the music business, and it was like, man, when that thing first started, it helped so many independent musicians. It was such a great idea because that's what it was designed for. But I love how a lot of nonprofits are using it in all kinds of groups around the world. They keep a pretty big chunk. So, you know, as the creator, you're not, it's just like TikTok and YouTube. They keep a lot too. So when you subscribe to somebody on YouTube, you subscribe to somebody on TikTok, just know that the person you're subscribing for, they're not getting the whole amount that you're putting in. You know, they get a percentage. What I like about school is they don't do that. They only do the credit card processing fee, which is through Stripe. So they don't even keep that. They just do it through Stripe on your behalf.
Wow.
So you can use a credit card, which is just the normal 2.9%. But as a creator, you know, you're not giving up. Or, you know, I think Patreon, I'm trying to remember, I think it's the 2.9 credit card fee plus over that. I think they do 10% or something. And YouTube, I think is like, they do like a third, because if you do it through a mobile app, you know, they're taking 30% right off the top. So
Yep.
if you're subscribed, and they do this with all the, like, if you're doing, here's another thing to know. It's just one of those things I know about because being in digital marketing, as long as I have, if you're like anything that requires the app, so you're doing it through, let's say your phone, which is Apple, or your Android, which is Google, they keep 30% right off the top because you're using the app. And then you got the platform that's charging their fee. So when everything's said and done, I mean, it's just crazy. But yeah, let me show y'all how I have this set. It's very much like a Patreon, but on our school community page. So, you know, it's free to join. None of that changes. But if you want to help towards the cause of all this education and advocacy, I set up 10 a month or 25 a month. And it's just to help us with, you know, rebuilding all that. It's just very time consuming. I started getting some videos up on the YouTube channel yesterday. It's a lot because I have to upload all, and I'm having to do it in phases. It's just going to take a lot of work.
Well, not just that, but you are giving us a safe space to speak about our favorite tea leaf. And, you know, there's not many places to do that anymore. So we
No, there's not.
appreciate that, Madeline.
Yeah, for sure. And it's positive. You know, everyone's super nice. You meet different people in there. You become friends with people in there. And it really is like a little family in there. It's a really tight community. Sorry, that was my phone. But yeah, sure.
Well, it's something that I saw was missing. I mean, for people that don't know, I started building my first online community back in the mid 90s. It's going to be 30 years next month. I feel so old. So yeah, that I've been doing stuff like that for a long time, utilizing the internet back, especially when it was new. It's like, how can we use that to bring people together? And once I became a Kr8tom consumer, I'm like, I'm going to start a podcast. I should build us a community, a safe place we can have to stay connected. And social media is great to meet people and connect with people far and wide, but we need a place that's ours with no censorship. And that's what school does. And I'd already been using school for other people's communities. And so when I decided 2 years ago I wanted to start one for us, for Kr8tom, I reached out to them at school and I said this, I want to make sure before I set this, because back then there was only one, it was $99 a month. Now they have two different plans. But I'm thinking, if I'm going to pay $99 a month, I want to be sure I'm going to be allowed to do this, and them not deciding months later they're just going to remove it because we can't talk about Kr8tom. So I reached out to them and I told them what Kr8tom was, and I just wanted to have a community where we can hang out and talk. I said, that's all it is. They came right back, said, yeah, no problem, you can do that. And it's been great ever since. It's just nice we have a place like that. We can just talk freely. We can have video. We have videos there that I can't put anywhere else.
Right. And I love that that you've talked to the owners of it. So they're aware of Kr8tom now, and that they'll have a positive outlook on what we're doing too.
I hope so.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
that's
you
like
know,
a nice side effect there.
I mean, they didn't have a problem when I was explaining that, you know, what it was and what I was trying to do. I mean, they said, you know, for just having a community, a forum, conversation. I think the only thing was, as long as you're not selling it. I'm saying, well, I don't sell it. I just want to have a place for people to talk about it. I was telling them that there was a lot of censorship. What happened was I had just lost my first TikTok. Like just like with the YouTube, I literally go in one day and it's gone. And it's like, oh my God, they deleted my account. But other advocates will tell you, like, this happens. Like, don't let it surprise you. They do this. It's happened to a lot of other
Mhm.
advocates. The key is to not let it keep you from advocating. So I was so mad. I'm like, oh my God. And you know what I think might have done it? I know I would, well, I was getting ready to post a video about Blake Papes, but I had been posting several others. And I was like wondering if maybe, but Blake Papes is like, it's just a little
Yeah.
wrapper thing. And you could put any
Right.
supplement in it. So
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's really strange. You never know because they don't tell you, and that's really unfair too, that they don't even tell you what it is. So, okay, I won't do that then. Even though it's still ridiculous, you know what
Exactly.
word it was or what you were showing, but you have no idea. None.
Exactly. So I went ahead and set up another TikTok, but then on the same day I reached out to school because I'd already been eyeing school, and the platforms that allow you to have the full control, they're not free. Like you can have it free for your community to join, but you as the owner, you got to pay for it. And I was looking at all the different ones, and I was already in somebody's school community. And I'm like, I really like school. I think I'm going to go with this one. I just thought I better reach out first. Like, let me just make sure. And I even reached out to Stripe because a few months into that, about a month or two into that, pretty quickly, people are wanting help with coaching. And I thought, I could probably do some coaching and let me look into that. And I wanted to make sure, like, well, am I allowed? I know with some industries are weird with credit cards, and especially I know with CBD used to be an issue. I know with Kr8tom there was an issue. This was just to help other people, but being able to take credit cards, Stripe came back and didn't have any issue. So, but I didn't really do that for long. I thought about just hosting like some regular, just more Q&A stuff to help people that are new. Just have like some free webinars and stuff. Sarah, you and I will talk about that later because I know we're going to do some more collaborations in the new year.
Yeah, for sure.
I already have ideas. Well, I'll definitely.
Yeah, that's the great thing about school too. Your classroom, there's a lot of education and then a lot of experienced consumers that talk in there. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
Like I try to tell everyone to go there and, come from Facebook to school. Come on over. It's so much better.
Because this whole section I have for people new, the only thing is because I just lost the YouTube channel and I'm having to rebuild it, there's a lot of videos missing. So like when you come in here, let me see. I put some of them back up. Yeah, I had to put these back up. But there's, like, see, some of them you'll see something like this, and I do have these throughout school because it was connected to the YouTube. And now it's like, okay, which video was that and what was I doing and where do I have that video? So I can restore it but also with school. Now, when I first started using school, you had to connect it with a YouTube. It was YouTube, Vimeo, or Loom. So you had to have a video elsewhere hosted and then you linked it in here. Well, several months ago, school finally made it so you can upload a video direct. So all I need to do is find the particular video and upload it direct, and then we won't ever lose it. So I was able to do that with the webinar Christopher and I did earlier this year. So I was able to find that and put it in. And same thing with the Dr. McCurdy from earlier this year. See, this was something I knew I couldn't put on social media. So it's only been here. It's my step-by-step how I make my swamp water Kr8tom. So many people have said that's been so helpful. So this was another one on my morning. I got to go find it. And then the Blake Papes. So this is my almost 8 minute long video. People have told me this has helped them start Blake Papes because I walk through it step by step. I literally just put the camera in front of me and recorded myself a few years ago of using this. And it's a great alternative to capsules. Although now that Sarah's in the picture, the best capsules are with them because those vegan capsules are the best. But I know a lot of people look for an alternative, and Blake Papes are great. And so, yeah, I have a video on there that I knew not to put on TikTok or YouTube. So it's only in our school classroom. FYI. So I'm glad Venus's mom was here. I'm a Pip. Your mom's such a great supporter.
Yeah, she really wants to get up and go and advocate in person when we go. So she wanted to go to Trenton, but she was sick at the time. So I can't wait till she can go with us. I'm
That's so
excited
awesome.
about that.
It's great.
I love it. I think it's great getting family members involved.
Yeah, I think it's so important because they need to see that if the family's not supporting you, then why? You know, I figure if they see the family supporting you, then that shows that it's not bad. You know, so I'm sorry, Becca, I cut you off.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I was just gonna say, you know, the best kind of support that you can really have, the best people that you can have on your side when you are advocating is your family and friends, and it's awesome that you have your mom on your side.
It really is. Me and my husband, we work together. We consume Kratom, and his mom actually works for us. His sister it's like a whole little
Wow.
family business, so it's really, really cool. So yeah.
That is so awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
I know Christopher's is a family affair as well. I think it's great.
Yeah. It really helps so much because you have that support too, you know, because there are a lot of times, as you know, that things happen. So it's good to have supportive people for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I just love our community. We have such great people just involved in Kratom education and advocacy, and it's so great getting to know more and more people as the time goes on. And Sarah, I'm so glad we've met, and Dan, y'all are so great. Love having y'all on the podcast.
Yeah.
And getting to know y'all
I'm so happy I
more.
met you, and I found school, so that has been extremely helpful. So
Oh, I just know I can see how much you love it because when we met, you told me about how you had a really big Kratom women Kratom community, and you know it's just not the same on social media, especially Facebook.
Can't say anything on Facebook, so we don't even talk about it. So I tell them to go there so we can talk about it there because I won't anymore. But that account's probably going to get deleted at some point because of it, but whatever.
Thank you for sending people over. When you first joined, yeah, it lets me know like if somebody who's already a member invites people in, and it's just one after another, invited by Sarah, and so I could see that you were inviting your people to come over.
Yeah.
And some of them would come and say, "Oh my gosh, we can spell Kratom the normal way."
Yeah, I told them that. I said, "Come over here." They were excited, you know, because everyone's been kind of like quiet because they're afraid to say anything. So yeah.
Yeah, it's so refreshing that we don't have to do Kr8tom like TikTok. Can talk about brands and discounts and show more in-depth videos and have conversations where we're not constantly worried, is this going to get me in trouble?
Right.
I'm trying to be more careful here with the live stream because I still just can't believe the account got deleted after we did a live stream. I'm like, what did we do? And I hate that they just won't tell you. I appealed it. Immediately they came back and were like, nope, you're done. So,
but if you appeal it, they should give you some reason or because of this, and you violated whatever it is in their, you know what I mean? That term.
They
A
assume
timestamp, you know, anything.
They assume
something.
that you already know. They just think you already know. So I don't know. It's incredibly frustrating. But the thing is, if our voices get silenced, then you know that's going to be a big problem.
Yep, huge problem.
It's already enough challenges as it is, and it seems to just be compounding one on top of the other. But you start making it so that we can't even have our voices heard. I feel like that's just going to seal the coffin.
Yeah, exactly. We need that community. We need to be able to talk freely to each other. And even when you search for Kratom on Google or whatever, there's a lot of misinformation that pops up, a lot of negativity that pops up, and a lot of people don't see the positive stories. And right away, it's just, you know, the negative things. So it's really important.
That's very true.
Or it'll go right to the drug abuse things, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
For sure.
There's a couple of like they're like anti-Kratom Facebook groups, and those are okay, and they can say whatever they want, and they're huge on there. But then mine gets shut down because I'm positive, you know, which makes no sense.
And not only that, people are doing 708 advertising.
Yeah, and that's okay.
And it's okay. And not only that, they're still circulating my videos they've stolen off of my TikTok that they're using as ads. They're still doing that
Wow.
because another one was found recently. It was from an interview I did with one of our community members, and they pulled the video of her talk. And it's always like they take videos of us talking about natural kratom, but then they turn around and have it go to a 708 a web page for it's some scammy thing.
Wow.
You know, and it's like I'm thinking, well, Facebook's getting money, that's why they're letting them do it. I don't know.
Yep.
It's terrible. It's terrible. You just can't control any of this. So they can all talk all they want, 708 and anti-kratom, but us
Yep.
sharing personal experience of how it changed our life, we're in
It's
trouble.
not okay. Right.
Yeah.
So everybody send people over to our school community because at least we have a safe place to be. It's so refreshing. It's so nice.
It really is. And if you can make a video or talk about how kratom helps you, that's so important too. Super important.
Absolutely.
The more the better.
We need more videos like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I know it's not easy for people to do that. I'm really seriously thinking about reviving an old program I had teaching people how to get comfortable on camera. I think I should do that again because I know that could help people in our kratom community because I know a lot of people are just not comfortable
I think
doing
that's
it.
a great idea.
But believe me, I get you comfortable doing it. I did that. I had a great program. I just didn't stop doing it because I went home to take care of my mom for years, and I had just did a whole year of that program. People loved it, and that was for like content creators, social media people, and digital marketers. But in our kratom community, I'm like, I think people really like if I brought that program back because it helped people get comfortable doing it, and because many times people tell me they want to make videos. You got to get over that hump of just getting comfortable with it. And
Exactly.
yeah, I think I need.
I didn't like it either. I was like terrified for the longest time, but you helped.
Look at you now. I mean, you've been making a bunch of videos, and then Venus has really come out of her shell.
I'm not doing that great on making the actual videos, but I can be here, I can talk, I can testify, so I'll take that one. So
yeah, you've come a long way, Venus.
It's not easy, like talking on camera or.
It takes getting used to. And Becca, your videos on TikTok are great. I just love your videos.
Yeah, you have really good videos.
Oh.
And part of it is getting used to carrying my phone around too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have it when I want to tape, so getting used to that. But I think that is a great idea, having people get used to being on camera.
Yeah, and then like with Kathleen, she's not camera shy, but it's the tech and understanding how to do that. That was the other part I used to teach in my program was.
Yeah, I think that would be really good if you. Sure.
Yeah, I think I'll bring that back. If anything, I can just do it for our community. I've been wanting to just bring it back just in general because people really loved it. It was really helpful, and I miss doing that. But I ended up spending years taking care of my mom. You know, I moved back home, take care of her, be her in-home caregiver, and so I just knew I had, and that was when I started Kratom. It's like I need to wait till that chapter is over, and then I can do all the things like start a Kratom community for us, start the podcast, and it's been 2 years now. I've been doing all this, and I just love that I've been able to focus time and energy on it because I know it's helping a lot of people. I'm all about educating and advocating. So, but yeah, we can help y'all get on camera and either get over the hump of just doing it or the tech part or both. I can help. Plus, I have all kinds of cool tools that make it so much easier. Oh my gosh, I just love like all the different apps, and like
I love learning the apps too.
Yeah, that I always have fun with that. I'm just a techie nerd, so I like all that stuff. It's fun. It's fun for me. Well, I think, gosh, we've already been here 2 hours. It always goes by so fast. I think we'll wrap. I still had other videos, but there's not really. You know what? I'll wrap up since we've been talking about Blade Papes. I had a fun little short video. I'll play for y'all, and then we'll close out. I love Harrison's videos. He's so good at making them too.
Yeah.
And Blade Papes had a huge TikTok before I came on to advocating. He had a TikTok, I believe maybe 300,000. It was a lot. It was huge, whatever it was. They lost it. Right when I started getting involved and meeting everybody, I just met them. They lost their TikTok and couldn't get it back. They would not give it back to them. And they don't sell Kratom. They sell a product for supplements.
Right.
And I don't know if maybe he was making videos that got him in trouble. They didn't lose their YouTube. They have a really good YouTube, but he's always putting up these short little YouTube shorts and TikToks, and he has and they're short. This is only a minute long, but I believe, was it here or school? Where was it? We were recently, somebody was talking about parachuting, where you use toilet paper to wrap up
I think that
whatever.
was in school.
That's school.
I'm pretty
We
sure.
were talking
Yeah.
about, I think it was school. So I think people were talking about Kratom and doing that. And it's like, oh, use Blade Papes. Because when I interviewed Blade Papes founder, he was talking about the story of how he went from doing that to wanting to have, like, realizing how bad it is to, like, even consuming one little square of toilet paper with all the chemicals and stuff. And so that's how they came up with Blade Papes. And it's a great product. I use it from time to time. And it's not like I said, it's for all different supplements. I mean, I've used it for supplements. I don't want to taste turmeric. I cannot stand the taste of turmeric. I've used it from Akuma seeds. What else? Different things, because it's just, you're not going to have to worry about tasting it.
Right.
But he has this great video talking about how they turn a parachuting parachuting into a business. So this just will be a fun way to close out. So let me play this for y'all real quick.
I'm going to show you how this started. I needed a way to take my supplements when my fiance and I cut out all the things we were taking with additives like artificial sweeteners and anti-caking agents. We found out if you just buy the main ingredients and take those, not only do you get the right dose for a much better price, but you get none of the bad stuff as well. But it tasted so bad that I resorted to using toilet paper because I didn't want the calories from mixing it in juice. I would just wrap up the powder and then try to swallow it before it broke open. But it wasn't very long before I learned that toilet paper is full of bleach chemicals, and it can be pretty dangerous. That's when we came up with the idea for Blade Papes. We even modeled the first one after a piece of toilet paper. The difference is that it's not paper, it's actually a dried, thin gel. So when you wrap up powder and dip it in water, it soaks back into a gel, becoming soft and easy to swallow without tasting it. It also breaks open immediately in your stomach, unlike capsules that take 15 minutes to an hour. We also made a more convenient cone-shaped version that's narrower and even easier to swallow. Using these, you can safely take more powder than are in a handful of capsules, all at one time. But you really have to try it to understand how much better it works.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, definitely.
It's a really good video.
I love how people have options.
Yeah, exactly.
Harrison's good at making videos, and they finally started a new TikTok just recently. But yeah, it's an interesting story how he went from doing the parachuting with toilet paper for supplements to coming up with something better. And I know that type of product was already, because I remember when I first started Kr8tom in 2019, I'd heard about those. He hadn't started he started the company during the pandemic, is what he told me. So these weren't out yet. But what were those things called? You get them from China, I believe. You had to order them from
I've ordered them before, and I have no idea. I don't remember the name of it.
Oh, a Blade Papers. But he said what was available overseas was terrible. And he also talked about how the machinery they used to make it was just not good, and this wasn't food grade quality. So he came up with something better. And then when he designed that cone shape, those are the ones I like, because it's just, it's like a little funnel, and you just put your powder in and take it, and it's just easy peasy. So, but before I found vegan capsules. And by the way, I sure love my ashwagandha capsules. They're so good.
Oh, good.
Those are my favorite.
Yeah, me too. I take it every day. It really does help with stress.
I like it a lot. Yeah, I'm finding it's so awesome learning more about plant medicine since I became a Kr8tom consumer. Like, I was just not aware or into any of this stuff, and meeting so many amazing people in this community and learning so much. It's like, I just had no idea there's all this cool. I love, my absolute favorite is reishi. Love reishi. It always just helps me with calming.
Yeah.
But I'm liking ashwagandha a lot. But until yours, I just had products that had ashwagandha, like all different gummies are like ashwagandha is one of other things. But it wasn't until I tried yours where it's just ashwagandha only. And I'm like, ooh, I like
Yeah, which is just that amount that you need just once a day. So it's not mixed with other things. So it's just ashwagandha. So that's why, because everything I was trying to find too was always mixed with other things. So I just wanted something that was just plain ashwagandha. So that's how that came about. So
yeah. And if anybody's interested in the different brands that I personally consume and support, just go to I'm not going to show anything anymore. I don't want to get in trouble. But just go to my website, go to crimestoriespodcast.com. I have a whole page on there with all the info and savings you can get. I think that's probably the most I can say. So be sure. It's like, gotta learn how to be creative with all this now. Like, what can I say and not say? Just go to Crime Stories Podcast. There's a whole lot of info over there.
Yep.
So, well, this is always such a great time hanging out. We watched all kinds of videos today. And Sarah, I'm glad you were available to come join us.
yeah, this was fun. I was happy I got to join you all again.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah,
I
you
always
too.
I always love seeing everybody. Thank you.
Yeah,
It's good to see you.
It's a great hangout.
Mhm.
So
It
ashwagandha
really
is
is.
for women over 40. This is interesting. Yeah, ashwagandha is interesting. That's for sure. Really like it a lot. Oh, interesting. Nobody. Yeah, right. Who talks about it? You just don't hear
Right.
about it. You just don't hear about it.
Interesting.
Actually, I have a video on it on my TikTok somewhere. I'll try to find it. I'll send it to
Right
you.
on
But
school.
I mean,
Let's get it up on school.
Okay.
For sure. For sure. Oops, I don't know how I got that pressed. All right, I think we'll close out. I think today we'll close out with the anthem song since we played the other song last week. I think we're all pumped up. It's been a great afternoon of education and advocacy and all the things in between and all the great videos we watched today. An anesthesiologist who's like had some interesting information that was really
Positive
good.
information. Yep.
And a great pep talk from our friend Jen. You know, that TikTok video of hers, boy, that was good. And just a reminder, I'll have the links to everything in the YouTube description a little later today. And then the video we watched from Cameron and Jewel just a little while ago, that was really very heartfelt, touching story about Kr8tom. That was so good. We need more of those. We're going to help everybody get their story out.
That's right.
We're here to help. But yeah, we do this every Saturday. Y'all just mark it on your calendar on this channel. If we're not here, oh, I don't think I can take losing this again.
No, we'll be here.
Just type
We'll
in.
be fine.
You know what?
It's
I'll tell you what. Here's the plan. So if I lose this account again, then it's just obvious we cannot talk about Kr8tom anymore. We will just do this privately over on school because we can do this on school. It's a newer feature. They have a whole webinar. They have this whole thing now. It was what we do on Thursdays and Sundays. Venus helps me with that, where we do like a support group. So when you're over on our school platform, it's private. It's like a Zoom call. We're just all, Kathleen's been there from time to time with us and others in our community. It's just a casual hangout, come as you are. We just hang out and chat about whatever, and it's just fun. So it'll be tomorrow, Sunday at
3 Eastern.
3 o'clock Eastern. I know I have to look at the time difference so I can remember what time it is Eastern. And then we also do it on Thursdays at 3 o'clock Eastern. But worst case scenario, we could always do it there. It just would be like the only people that could come watch, you'd have to be in our school community. But it's free. So,
You need to come over, join us.
Yeah, just in case. Because you can also do it like a webinar. So I could do it like a webinar where I can show the screen and have y'all come chat with me and everybody else just watches. I could set it up like that. So it'd be sad if it has to go to that, where it's completely private because we can't even talk freely. That would be bad. Yeah, and Array is asking about Rumble. We looked into Rumble a few years ago. I don't know about Rumble. That one's a little too much of a free-for-all platform. Not a big fan of it. Unless it's changed. Does anybody know if it's changed?
I'm not sure. I haven't ever been over there, but I'm willing to
neither.
try any of them.
I looked into it a few years ago, and I was like, nah, not for me. We always have school, and it's like if anything happens in this YouTube channel, then we're going to for sure have to have this type of content be private, so we can always just do it there. It would just be a shame that it'd have to come to that, because again, we can't. So many people find us because y'all are just on YouTube, or those watching on X right now. Shout out to the people watching. Let's see, we got 13 people watching on X live with us right now. That's cool.
Oh, hey everyone.
Yeah. But I just hate to lose the ability for people to find us because we're live on YouTube and X right now. That would suck. But, it'll be whatever it's going to be. Let's just hope that, we stay out of trouble. All right, y'all. We'll close out and we'll see y'all here next week. Always a great time. If anybody wants to come on the podcast, reach out to me through the website, kratomstoriespodcast.com. Any final parting words?
Just thanks for coming, everybody, and hanging out with us.
Yeah, it was lots of fun.
Oh, yeah.
And happy holidays.
Happy
Yeah.
New Year. I knew I was forgetting something. Happy New Year. We'll be back.
Happy New Year.
It's that funny thing we do like when we're kids. See you next year. It's really next week. But,
Exactly. I'll see you next year.
We'll see y'all next year, next Saturday, but it'll be next year for a whole new year of hanging out with the Kr8tom gals. All right.
I can't wait.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
You can't ban my truth. Hey, Florida, we see the game. HB 1489. Not today. Natural leaf, ancient tree. Now they wanna make it a felony. Nah, we ain't playing that corporate tune. Kr8tom's the voice of 1,000 moons. From the fields to the streets to the healing hands, you can't kill what the earth commands. They assess certification, regulation, tricks. Just another play to make the people sick. They write the rules, we break the chains. Your lobby games won't own our brains. One voice, one fight, we rise tonight. You can't ban my roots. I'm a child of the storm. I was born to be free. I ain't bending no more. You can't break my truth. You can write your lies, but the people rise. No 1489. Mail orders ban, remote sales cut. Who's that help? Big Pharma's gut. They don't want plants, they want pills. They don't want cures, they want bills. But guess what? We ain't that dumb. We'll shout this message till the war is won. Kr8tom's our anthem, Kr8tom's our right. HB 1489, we fight tonight. They write the rules, we break the chains. Your lobby games won't own our brains. One voice, one fight, we rise tonight. You can't ban my roots. I'm a child of the storm. I was born to be free. I ain't bending no more. You can't break my truth. You can write your lies, but the people rise. No 1489. You can't outlaw the trees. You can't outlaw the breeze. You can't outlaw the dreams. We are Kr8tom. We are free. You can't bend my roots. I'm a child of the storm. I was born to be free. I ain't bending no more. You can't break my truth. You can write your life.